too. Meditation music. Slow meditation. Look deeply into the eye of God. Feel the energy move through you. Be one with the cosmos. Feel the loving hand of God guide you. God damn it. Marcus in the morning meditation. Love. Morning, everybody. Marcus in the morning. Good morning. That's a little repetitive. God damn it. Some repetitive music right there. Sorry about that, man. It's fucking one note. That's what happens when you're in a rush, man. It's just fucking... I just picked that on the fly, man. Picked that shit on the fly. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte in the morning. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Vinny D. Martini in the house. What's up? Candice Salatran says, go to fucking Seattle, Conte. Where all the free stuff is, right? That's what you're saying, right? I'm thinking about it, man. New York is getting ugly, right? It's shitty. It's shitty and boring and all kinds of, it's fucking... There's nothing fun happening here anymore, right? It used to be the epicenter. I used to be, so cool because I was from New York. Now I'm a jackass sitting around in a busy city waiting for shit to happen, waiting for politicians to open shit, and everybody's terrified of doing anything, right? So maybe I should go to Seattle. Maybe I should go with my peoples, my Antifas. I have a theory on why my channel doesn't grow, because I'm in between. I don't conform to any of that shit. The conservatives, who would love to bash Antifa, and Antifa who would love to bash the conservatives. I hate everybody equally. I'm right in the middle, and I guess that's not a good marketing place to be in, but that's where the truth lies. The truth is in the middle. The truth lies in the middle of the left bullshit and the right bullshit. In between, somewhere lies the truth, I believe. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning in the chat. How we doing, man? How we doing? All right. Some people piling in for the morning show. Piling in for the morning. Good. So if we buffer, just let me know, and we'll try to fix the problem there. So before we go forward, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. We got Antifa on the rise in Seattle. Big news. Big news. Wow. Finally, somebody rebel. Are they rebels or are they or is it? Are they anarchists? Are they looking to tear down our wonderful democracy that we have, where everybody's equal and free, and everybody's, there's free stuff all over the place? Or are they trying to reestablish democracy? What is it? Is it anarchy or democracy going on in Seattle? It's pretty interesting because there's a lot of overlay. Right? I told you that the rebellion, that the radicals, the rebels in the street, it was not entirely about George Floyd. George Floyd was one of the many reasons. It was also a rallying call for blacks who like that kind of thing. Right? When it comes to Chinese getting beat up, nobody bats an eye. But Black Lives Matter. So I think what I've always said, and my eyewitness observation, is that the rebels who led the Black Lives Matter marches here in New York, I think they're kind of dwindling a little bit, the radical side of it, and I think the focus is now moving west. And I have a little evidence of that. I have a little singular evidence, actual evidence of me. The videos I've been going through the videos that I took that night with Antifa, and it turns out there's a couple of the celebrity leaders. It looks like at least one of them has landed in Seattle. I'm going to show you that video exclusively here on Marcus in the Morning. Don't tell anybody about that shit, because that's some serious shit right there, right? Some serious shit. Hold on a second. I get rid of this fucking thing. But before we go into that, we're going to talk about vaccine whores. The Gates, Melinda Gates is on the march again, trying to push vaccines. We'll touch on that a little bit, and Corona. So this is how we support the show. This is MarcusConte.com. If you guys could kindly become a Patreon of the channel for as little as $2 a month, or drop a couple of coins in the tip jar. This is how we fund it. 100% viewer-funded television, or internet television. That's what this is, right? Internet news. So get on board, please, and make it happen. Make it happen. Someone's saying in the chat, Conte, go to Seattle. Get on a plane. Go to fucking Seattle. I'll go to Seattle. Put some coin in the fucking tip jar, and I'll be on it in a second. I would love to see what's going on there firsthand. And that's how we do it. You think you come up with a good idea that I'm kind of on board with, and you make a contribution. We make it happen. Right? That's how it happens. So let's start here. This is hysterical, right? This is ridiculous COVID-19 news, right? Burundi president dies of sudden heart attack at 55. Watch how. It's just a quick example of how everything is COVID-19. No matter what you die of, if you trip and fall on the street, and it's COVID-19. Right? You bang your head, oh, COVID-19 did it. Everything is coronavirus. Why? I don't know why. Because it's ridiculous. It's because we're living in I do know why. Because we live in a society of. Let me just say this quickly. We live in a society of super wealth. Now that the economies have completely collapsed, right? Now that the middle of the economy, the middle and lower parts of the economy, have totally collapsed, we are at 100% the will of the ruling elite. Now, I don't know. There's still half the country that likes it, says Trump knows what he's doing, and this is capitalism. This is the system that we have. We don't want anything free. We don't want handouts. We don't want government to work on our behalf. So we have this kind of new phenomena of super wealth. And whenever the wealthy decide, if they decide they're going to inject everybody with vaccines because that's what they feel like doing, that's where the money goes, and that's where all the attention goes, and that's where all the corporate media flings around and turns to Bill Gates and his $1 billion and say, oh, vaccines, okay, we'll talk about that. Give us some money, right? Pay us. And that's where we're at right now. What the rich decide is what everybody else is supposed to react to. And that's why the stock markets are continuing to go up. They have no, it doesn't, they don't even care what regular people think anymore. They don't need to care what regular people think anymore because they're running the show. So again, we live in a society where 1% of the population control the other 99%. And the faster you let that sink into your skull, I'm talking to half the country that refuses to accept it, the faster we might be able to regain our democracy. That is the problem. We have a ruling class of 1% who buys off the politicians, and they get all the laws that they need passed to run their criminal enterprises, their criminal corporate enterprises that flatten everybody else for their own gain. Now, that is oligarchy, that is monopoly, that is tyranny, that is purely un-American. It violates the Constitution gets run over in a situation like that. You could see how free speech gets run over right here on our favorite platform, for example, because it's owned. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So why is coronavirus even a thing anymore when we know it's bullshit? Because there's money to be made. Right? Listen to this. They're trying to expand the vaccine reach into Africa. So Burundi president. Where the fuck is Burundi anyway? I don't even know where this is. I'll be honest with you. I'm ignorant on Burundi. Let's find out where Burundi is. Burundi map. Let's go to Burundi and see what it looks like. Burundi. Oh, it's by Rwanda. Burundi. Okay, so it's right smack in the middle next to the Congo. Wow, they got some landlocked shit. Look at some water over here. I didn't know there was water in Africa. I thought they had to. I thought they had to import bottled water in Africa. Look, there's a whole lake. There's a lake in Africa. You heard? What's this big piece here? Lake Victoria. Whoa! Wow! Ooh! I thought there's no water. Right? There's fucking water all over Africa. So here's Africa. It's down towards the middle lower part, and this is a stomping ground for clowns like Bill Gates to sell their shit, sell their vaccines, so they could shoot up everybody. So ongoing president, 55-year-old, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, is said to have improved on Sunday. But surprisingly, on the morning of Monday, June 8th, his health suddenly deteriorated and he had a heart attack, according to a government statement which describes the former footballer's death as unexpected. Right? So here's a healthy guy, 55 years old, takes a sudden heart attack. So what are we going to do? Well, let's blame COVID-19 and get the vaccines in there, because that's really the discussion we want to have. We don't give a shit about the guy who just died and took a heart attack. We don't care what he died of. All we care about is that it's coronavirus so that we can get the vaccines in there and start shooting up fucking Africans. So 7 days of mourning have been announced following the death, which is suspected to have been caused by coronavirus, COVID-19, a rumor fueled by reports that his wife was flown to Kenya capital of Nairobi 10 days ago after contracting the disease. What fucking bullshit. Yesterday we saw a case where they were trying to pin, the Harvard Medical School is trying to pin China for COVID-19 by analyzing parking lot fullness or emptiness in China hospitals. How fucking ridiculous. This is another story of how ridiculous it is. Everything coronavirus. So just a totally ridiculous story. I would bet, if you took this guy's body and tried to find corona or any kind of virus, I'd bet a fucking $1,000 right now that the guy died of a heart attack. The guy died of a heart attack, maybe aneurysm or something. He died of maybe a drug overdose. Who knows? Maybe he choked on his own fucking Nairobi or something. I don't know. So here we go. So here's Melinda Gates, the beautiful, wonderful wife of the billionaire the person who brought us Windows 19 is now a proponent of coronavirus. Why? Why? Does she care so much about the people? No, she said it in her own words. It's equity. It's money. It's the money, man. Show me the fucking money, man. That's what these people are all about. Show me the money, right? So here's Melinda Gates lays out her biggest concern for the next phase of COVID-19 pandemic. And you may ask yourself, why does this bitch, this cunt, why does she have any say whatsoever in any of this? Who gives a shit about some Bill Gates' whore? Who cares? Or his wife, his darling wife. From 2018 to 2019, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave more money to the WHO, the World Health Organization, than any entity except the United States government. Wow. So they're the second largest contributors to the WHO, who are what? Promoting a vaccine so that they can make some money. With President Donald Trump cutting ties to the International Health Agency in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gates Foundation work has come into sharper relief than ever. Co-chair Bill Gates announces at the Global Vaccine Summit, listen to this. This is breaking, right? So Bill Gates announced at the Global Vaccine Summit on June 4th. So they already had it. What fucking Global Vaccine Summit? What did I miss that? That it will give $1.6 billion over 5 years to Vaccine Alliance. Like they even got a name for it, GAVI, to help ensure people around the world have access to vaccines. Of course they want access to vaccines because they're selling the vaccines. They're profiting from the vaccines. The Gates Foundation in 1999 pledged $750 million to help this vaccine organization, and the organization has since vaccinated more than 760 million children in underserved areas. Now, if you want to do a deep dive, find out how many of these kids are fucked, right, or vulnerable, or imagine that reach. Look at the numbers: 760 million children. Now, if they sell a vaccine for $5 a pop, that's billions of dollars, right? Or $10 a pop. That's if it's even as little as $10 a shot, right? It's $7 billion. You add a few zeros to that. It's just crazy money. They're making crazy money on these fucking things. There's no other motivation. That's the motivation. The motivation is money. Ahead of the June 4th pledge, Time spoke with Gates Foundation co-founder Melinda Gates about equitable solutions. That's the language. Equitable, profitable, equitable solutions to COVID-19. The need for optimism in times of anxiety. And so there you have it, right? Again, my pitch in the beginning, right? It's the ruling class, what they want, what is equitable for them, not for you. What you get what you get. We're the boss, you're the horse. Pull the fucking carriage. All right? And there you have it. An equitable solution to COVID-19. That's how the billionaire class is viewing this. What is equitable? What is profitable for us? It's not profitable. There's no profit in people just getting well and going about their lives and opening up everything. No, there's profit in misery. There's profit in vaccines. And that's pretty much in her own words. What is equitable? So let's talk about the what's going on in Seattle. This is crazy. This is some crazy shit. So some National Guard members expressed regret over response to protesters. So the National Guard is being called in left, right, and center. Trump is beating the war drum on his own people, right? Because he doesn't like Antifa. They don't vote for him. So fucking kill them, smash them, invade their property, right? Throw them up against the wall, fucking shut them down, right? Law and order, my law and order, bang the shit out of them, right? Because they don't vote red, they vote blue, or they don't vote at all. So to Trump, they don't even matter. They're not even people. They're not even humans. Let's speak to the middle of the country, that is shut eye. You know, the shut eyes just do, yes, Trump. Oh, we love Trump. Oh, he's beautiful. Isn't he wonderful? Look how he handles the media. Look how genius he is, right? So that's who he speaks to. And so some National Guard members who respond to uprisings across the country after the police killing of George Floyd have said they regret how the situations were handled. Nice. One Guard member who spoke to Politico said that he saw in Lafayette Square in Washington, what he saw in Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C. last week was fucked up. The Guard member, who did not give his name, said he disagreed with the official position of the White House that protesters were acting violently before police and guardsmen moved in on them. So true. There is no violence until the police step in. Right? The police create the violence. The police create the violence. There's no violence going on. Here we are protesting. We're running our signs. We're walking freely in our own country. We're picking streets to walk down in our own country. We're protesting as guaranteed, as protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. The right to assemble is in the Constitution, but these cocksuckers, your police state, refuses to acknowledge it. And you have a president that refuses to acknowledge it. How do you say you're for a free press? Oh, the press needs to stop lying. It's fake news. And then you turn around in the same breath and piss on the First Amendment by saying protesters should be shut down and crushed. Right? Push them to violence and then shut them down. That's what the police always like. They love when it turns violent. Police, National Guard, politicians. They love when it turns violent because then they know what to do. They know what to do with the violence. They have the guns. They have the army. They have the military. They have the police. They come in. They crack heads. They vilify the protesters. And the message gets stuffed. Right? But without the violence, the message is loud and clear. Like it's starting to be very loud and clear, it appears, in Seattle. I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time, so we're going to dive in. I'm going to take a dive into the situation in Seattle. So some of the National Guard had some regrets. NYPD cop, I wanted to show this video. Cop stripped of gun shield for opening car door on protester. Now watch this. Just a little video, right? Here's a cop, right? One cop. Here's a plainclothes. Boom! He fucking hits the guy. What a jerk off. Now, is it a cop? Yeah, there's a cop car, NYPD, New York. And he has clearly a marked car with red flashing lights following a cop car. He's a cop. And watch what happens. Boom, he opens the door because he thinks it's funny. Right? Is there any other reason to swing the door open and whack the kid? No. There's absolutely no fucking reason at all. There's no reason. Are you fearful of your life? Is he wielding or is he just words? Words can cause. This is what people are talking about. This is not policing. This is fucking brutality. This is a mafia, right? A NYPD mafia that, right? Okay, so protesters are guilty of flinging things at police. They're throwing shit bombs and all this stuff, right? They should start the shit bombs like they did in France, right? Hey, Antifa, man, start shitting in a pile and then pack it into like bags, right? And throw it at the police. They hate that. Oh, they got to fucking sit in their uniform smelling like shit all day long. Shit bombs. They did it in France. Very effective. They had police. I'm not saying that. I'm just echoing what I saw in France. I'm not suggesting to do that. I'm just mentioning what happened in France. In France, they were throwing shit bombs at the police, and the police were throwing up and quitting, and dehumanized. They got hit with feces, and they got their uniforms stunk of feces. Oh God, what a fucking mess, right? What a mess, right? What a way to fight back, too, right? So that's a fucked up video, right? That kills me, right? So here's another one. This is interesting what's happening in New York. Suspects wanted for taking $550,000 of loot from high-end Soho camera store. Really? Really? Someone left You're going to tell me that someone left $550,000, $500,000 in loot laying around in a camera store. You want me to believe that? You want me to believe that? Okay, let's believe it for 5 seconds. That some idiot left $500,000 in cash. Is that what it is? Is it cash? I don't even care what they look like. Police earlier Thursday released photos of several suspects wanted for stealing from a high-end Soho camera store that lost over $500,000 from looting. What did they lose? $500,000? This is what's called, for lack of a better term, Jewish lightning, or insurance jammy. They lose $10,000 and they claim $500,000. That's what it smells like. That's what it smells like. Police earlier Thursday released photos of several suspects wanted for stealing from a high-end Soho camera store that lost over $500,000 from looting. Yeah, I don't believe it. The Luca, L-E-I-C-A, Lucia store, Soho, was ransacked on May 31st. I believe it was ransacked. The first of 2 nights of widespread looting of luxury stores in Lower Manhattan. A man dressed in all black was the first suspect to target the store, breaking in the front door with an unknown object. Once inside, he took camera equipment and fled on a bike. Moments later, a group of roughly 25 looters then stormed the store, swiping camera equipment, computers, and checks worth $500,000. Checks worth $500,000. You can't cancel checks. That's bullshit. Soho and other parts of Manhattan were devastated as well. All right, so do we believe it? I just think that this is going to be a growing trend where you get looted for you get your glass broke, right? And that cost $10,000 to fix, and then they'll say, oh no, but we lost $200,000 in merchandise as well. Shit merchandise that people don't even want anymore. Now, I don't know, there's no way of verifying if this is true or not, but it is suspicious. It is suspicious. These 25 kids coming in and snatching stuff out of a camera store, $500,000 worth of stuff. That's some sophisticated stealing. Lots of empty boxes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's bullshit, but I think they should definitely get the shit bombs out, right? As Vinny is talking about. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Raymond Duncan says it's a scam. Lie, Cal, lie. Insurance scam, says Carol Hayes. Exactly. That's what I think it is. It looks like that. All right. So Weevil Boy is here. Good morning, Weevil Boy. Jason Walsh is here. Jason, Vinny DiMartini in the house. Vas Virus, the spirit child, is here as well. Sterling Price, my brother from a different mother down south from the Ozarks. Camo Masso, what's up? Me so hungry. And Chris Mike, good morning, everybody. If I missed your name, just stick around, man. I'll try to fucking get you in there again. So suspects wanted for taking money, insurance job, Jewish lightning, pow. We got you. So let's talk about this controversy that if it even matters at this point. I've been saying all along that this uprising of the rebels has very little, if nothing, to do with the death of George Floyd. It's just a reason. Part of the Antifa playbook has always been any anarchist, any rebellious group always wants to eliminate the police. That's the essence of rebellion, right? If once you eliminate the police, you can't enforce the ridiculous laws that keep people away from freedom and democracy, right? The police hold you down. The police, right? So that move from Antifa is straight out of the anarchist cookbook. Get rid of the police, defund the police. Right? That's what's going on, but. So that's separate. What I'm trying to say is that movement is kind of separate from the lovey-feely Black Lives Matter and we're all together and black is beautiful and all that. And I'm not mocking it. I'm just saying that that's the front for the real rebellion which is, and now appears to definitely have a name, and it is Antifa. I have a little evidence that I'm going to show you in a second of some of the characters that were at the rallies towards the end, leading the Black Lives Matter rallies here in New York. And it turns out at least one of them is in Seattle on the news talking. So I'm going to show you that in a second. But here's the other controversy: did Chauvin, the cop that killed George Floyd, were they co-workers? People seem to care like it's a big deal. They're co-workers, and look how stupid the Black Lives Matter people are to believe that it had something to do with him being black. No, they were enemies, and one killed the other guy. Who cares, right? What do I care? I don't give a fucking... Why should anybody care? Why is that even a big deal? That's not... You're missing the point. It doesn't have any... I told you, it doesn't have... It has very little, if nothing, to do with George Floyd. They're trying to destabilize the government because of the things I just told you about. That in these economic slides, the COVID-19 hoax, the wealth shifts even more to the billionaire class. Billionaires gained $480 billion since the COVID-19 pandemic began. They gained $480 billion in new wealth. Does that piss you off? How much new wealth did you gain? No, you went deeper into the hole. You went deeper into the pocket. You see what's going on? You see who the enemy is? The enemy is not the black. It's not the Jew. It's not the Arab. It's not the Chinese. It's the fucking billionaire class. God damn it. How many times do I got to say it? How many times do I got to point it out? And it all plays out. Right? So now you've got even a larger distribution of wealth to the billionaire class. Where middle America is gone. Well, we used to think of the middle class as long been gone, but now middle industry. Look around New York. Look around, there is no more. It's not coming back, man. New York is done. There's no more restaurants and tourism and all this shit. It could be 10 years before anything happens again. Now, there is an excitement in that too, because you're at the precipice of a cultural revolution, and that's where great music happens. That's where great art stems from. That's where, collective consciousness comes together again, and and all the conservative, bootlickers and people that just follow orders leave and flee, and they take off, and the strong survive. The strong stay. And rally the troops around the arts. But anyway, did these two idiots, Chauvin and Floyd, have a history? Let's listen to the fake news. CBS talk about it and see if it's true.
Mourners here in Houston honor the life of George Floyd. In Minneapolis tonight, CBS News is learning new details about the former police officer charged in his death. A co-worker tells CBS News the two men worked together at a nightclub, and he says they had a history of not getting along.
Sorry.
CBS's Jeff Begaze is in Minneapolis tonight with that new reporting. Jeff?
Nora, George Floyd died here, and that's why you still have this massive memorial filling this intersection behind me. And even in the rain, people are coming out to see it. And our reporting today shows that the victim in this case and the officer at the center of the investigation crossed paths in another location too, a nightclub. Tonight, CBS News is learning new information about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin from a man who worked security with both of them at this nightclub in Minneapolis. Co-worker David Penny is breaking his silence, telling us that the two men had a history. What kind of history?
They bumped heads.
How?
It has a lot to do with Derek being extremely aggressive within the club with some of the patrons, which was an issue.
The Floyd family says it believes what happened on May 25th was, in part, personal. Is there any doubt in your mind that Derek Chauvin knew George Floyd?
No, he knew him.
How well?
We interfaced with the officers.
How well did he know him?
I'd say pretty well.
Maya Santamaria, the owner of the now Torch Club, described how Chauvin treated black patrons when she talked to us for the upcoming CBS News special, Justice for All. Do you think Derek had a problem with black people?
I think he was afraid and intimidated.
By black folks?
Yeah.
As the investigation continues, other cities across the country are considering police reforms. Today, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that he would support sweeping reform measures in his state, including a ban on police chokeholds.
It's not just a moment to express outrage.
All right, so there's two people saying that Floyd and Chauvin knew each other. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the greater picture. It's still a white cop using his position to kill a black man on the street. Right? Black Lives Matter doesn't lose any steam whatsoever in that argument, because it's a white guy using his police position to kill a black guy. I mean, that was murder. When you watch the video, there's no other way to describe that. He has his knee on a handcuffed man handcuffed behind his back, and he's got his knee on his throat, leaning into him while the guy's screaming, "I can't breathe," for 6 minutes or 10 minutes or however many minutes. That is murder. So there you have a white cop, whether they knew each other, whether they were in love with each other, whether they were gay lovers, whether they were butt buddies, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the cop killed the guy in a police position, clearly murder. The other guys sat around and watched it. They were accomplices to it. So even if they were, what difference would it make in the story is what I fail to see. I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Why do you, again, this is a smaller story. Again, you have a lot of, in this situation, you have a lot of rebellions going on. You have Black Lives Matter. You have people that are adamantly against police brutality. You have people who see the police as the most essential part of keeping tyranny in place. That's Antifa. So they all agree on getting rid of the police and police brutality, right? But how does that? I fail to see how Chauvin and Floyd knowing each other makes one iota of difference, right? Because there's so many cases of white cops taking advantage of blacks in the cities and killing them and fucking just trying to get an arrest number. I mean, it's well documented. I don't even think it's arguable. But there you have it. Make up your own mind. I don't really have an opinion. So we're going to get into the Seattle stuff now. So Trump demands Seattle officials take back cop-free protest zone. And we're going to look at that zone in a second. All right, so President, just to get the background, Trump, of course, is against anything that when people rising up is Trump's against it, because it's, to him, law and order is do what we tell you to do, and if you don't, we're gonna send in the army and start cracking heads. That's what Trump is. Trump is you could argue. Hold on. You could argue. I mean, I don't buy into the notion that Trump is an authoritarian and a Nazi and a Hitler and all that stuff. I just think that he's a bonehead, and he's a conservative cocksucker that caters to the rich. And what do the rich want? What do the wealthy want? The wealthy want this shit. They want law and order the way they know it so that they can keep making money. And when shit starts getting mixed up, it's hard to figure out what people are going to buy and how we're going to vaccinate them if they're running around without masks on, right? We have a storyline going. Stick to the fucking story. Coronavirus, vaccinate everybody. We'll make how many? 7 billion? How many billions of dollars are we going to make? Stick to the story, right? What is this shit? They've fucking taken down the police. What? They actually have their own rights, and they actually want to represent themselves in their own country. Oh, man. You got to get in there and shut that down, man. 6 blocks, take it back. Take it back. Get in there, break some heads, and they'll go away. So that's Trump's position. Demonstrators have occupied the roughly 6-block Capitol Hill area, dubbed the Capitol Hill Anonymous Zone. Chaz. I like that. C-H-A-Z. Chaz. Inside the zone, people congregate as free snacks are reportedly doled out at a no-cop, no-op, and films of racial justice are screening at night. Oh, man, you talk about a revolution. You talk about shit going down in Seattle. If you're a reporter in Seattle, you better get off your ass and get into that crowd, man, because you know what? If I wasn't here, that's what I would be. I would be in that 6-block radius, talking to everybody, man, trying not to get my ass kicked, but also talking to people on the record and seeing what the hell they're talking about, right? Inside the zone, people are congregated as free snacks. Congregate as free snacks are reportedly doled out. I read that already. Trump on Twitter slammed Governor Jay Inslee and Mayor Jenny Durkin for allowing the area to be handed over to protesters he described as domestic terrorists. Oh, Trump, you idiot. You jackass. You're vilifying the youth, you cocksucker. God damn, Trump. He also warned that he would take action if they did not shut down the demonstrations. President of the United States leveling a threat, a violent threat from the top office in America about people speaking out and congregating as guaranteed by the First Amendment. Radical left Governor Jay Inslee and Mayor of Seattle are being taunted and played at a level that our great country has never seen before, Trump wrote. Take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will. This is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped. Wow. Immediately, move fast. What a mess. What a mess. And Inslee is the guy, he's the guy who ran for president. You remember he was a Democratic candidate for president. He's all about Green New Deal. I like that guy. He was pretty interesting. And he's the governor running it, and they're stepping out of the way. They want to hear what the young people have to say. A man who is totally incapable of governing should... All right, so that's Trump's position. Trump's idiotic, conservative, rich boy opinion. Now, here's where it gets interesting, right? So we're going to look into the little video that I have of the actual 6-block zone. But listen to this report by Kings 5. Just listen.
The perimeter stretches from here at 13th Avenue, goes past 11th Avenue, and it goes from Olive to Pike. The protesters we talked with here today say at this point they don't have any plans to leave.
If you want to call it anything, it's the people's community.
That's what this protester says, but today...
This is the people's community.
Police say they're concerned about safety, and their goal is to reopen the East Precinct. According to Assistant Chief Deanna Nolet, they've seen checkpoints where people are armed, and she says, quote, "We've heard of people ask for ID and that a business was told they needed to make a donation to be in the area." Rook, who has been staying here, says he has not seen that.
It's not nothing aggressive or violent or nothing like that. We didn't come out here for any of that.
He says the community is welcome and...
Take a look at that guy. We didn't come out here for anything. Just listen to this.
Here for any of that.
He says the...
Violent or nothing like that. We didn't come out here for any of that.
We didn't come out here for any of that. Where did he come from? He didn't come out here for any of that. Where did he come from? I want to show you something that I captured in New York City. Where did he come from?
He says the community is welcome.
Watch.
And while there's no one leader here, there is a unified message.
That's what those faces on the walls. Black lives killed by the police. We want people to see that those lives matter.
That's posted on the side of the East Precinct, and above, the sign now says Seattle People Department. Some are calling it Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. When asked what it'll take to get protesters to clear the streets, Rook's answer was vague.
We're hoping to see a better, if not system, society altogether.
The blocked off area is an obstacle for the fire department.
How would we get a person from a medical call out of here?
That's why Fire Chief Harold Scoggins is here, making sure there's a way to bring help in if it's needed. The barricades have become an urgent issue for Seattle city leaders, including Councilmember Andrew Lewis.
I oversee, the mayor and the police department. I'm certainly going to be having conversations with them as this process unfolds.
On Capitol Hill, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
So that's a pretty interesting story. But the story that I really want to tell you about is, you're not going to believe this, right? So here's the guy, right? Here he is saying that that's why we came out here. Now, check this shit out, right? Check this shit out, right? You remember the other night? When I was doing I was at the protest? Watch. Let's listen. What did I capture on film? Watch this. Watch this. Ah, police right in the middle of everything, right? You're gonna love this. Watch. All right, big protests. And watch what happens. Lots of press. Watch. And action! Action! There he is. Is it the same guy? You bet your ass it's the same guy. Oh, fucking busted, man. Busted. Watch. So there he is. There's homeboy, right? There he is. All right, let's listen to him. Oops. Hold on a second. Let me just set this up. I'm fucking up. I'm sorry. But watch. Watch this. So there he is.
Bullshit. Not out here with your people. We're in distress. We need you. You failed us.
So there he is in New York.
You failed all of us.
Ah, there he is. Conte caught him.
Bullshit.
This is evidence that, as I said, that the rallies were being infiltrated towards the end by the Antifa, the radical wing of Antifa, to smash things, right? And they were leading the peaceful protesters down the avenue until they can get an opening to smash. And this guy is obviously one of the ringleaders. How does he always get out in front of the camera? And I'm going to show you another video where he is actually one of the leaders. Right? But there he is, right? Is it the same guy? I think it is. I mean, that's him, right? That's him, right? His hair's a little frizzy over on the left, but same length. The only thing that I could see that's different about him is that his chest is shaven. If you look here, he's got no hair on his chest. Over here, he has hair on his chest. But it seems to be, I would, give me a 1 if you think it's the same person, 2 if it's not the same person. Give me, because I think it's the same person. 1, it's the same guy. 2, it's a different guy.
Here with your people, we're in distress. We need you. You failed us. You failed all of us.
All right, on to the next show. All right, so that's one video that I have, and I caught him in another one, right? Definitely one. Thank you, guys. I agree. Now here's another one, right? Is he all right, so here's another. Now here's another, just following the rally. They went through Times Square, right? And they were sitting down and they were addressing the crowd. Now look who's up front. Watch, you'll see it in a second. I zoom in. And there he is with the bullhorn. Behind him, see him? There he is. Again. Now this isn't anything negative or derogatory. It's just a point that the guy said, we came out here. He said it in his interview in Seattle. We came out here to advance our cause. And there he is in New York, rallying on the street. So evidence suggests that whoever's running the Seattle thing, those guys were here, and that's why the violence has stopped. That's why the crashing has stopped, because the movement has now moved to Seattle. Busted. So there he is. He's up front. He's talking with the leaders. He's in with them. This guy right here, too, this white guy right here, had a very, very loud voice. These two guys kept passing the bullhorn back and forth. Whoever this guy is, I don't know, but he was definitely influential, one of the most influential that night in leading the crowd for hours and hours. Yeah, listen to him. I don't know who this guy is, but he's important. So when I had seen this, I said to myself, this is a well-oiled machine, right? How are they eluding the cops? How are they using the peaceful protesters as a buffer to do the smashing, to do the anarchy, to do the will. So anyway, but that's two of my catches. It's definitely the same guy, right? I don't think there's a doubt I don't think that there's any doubt that that's the guy. They all moved. So the movement is now in Seattle. So that's the protest. Let's continue. So here's a right-leaning perspective. Somebody sent me this. Whoever sent it to me, thank you. Gateway Pundit. Oh, they're good. Antifa releases list of demands after taking over 6 square block section in Seattle and setting up armed security watch. List includes reparations and ending police department. I haven't heard a single thing about reparations. So already they're lying, fucking Gateway Pundit. The Antifa terrorists. Gee, thanks for sending me this article. The Antifa terrorists are advocating for folks with firearms to take shifts defending the barricades. Yeah, that's called the right to bear arms and defending your own property, defending through militia. Don't you know the Constitution? Don't you even care? They're not radicals. They're people fighting for you, you idiot. They're trying to free up this police state. All right? That's how I see it. I'm sorry if you don't like my opinion. You can go watch conservative television. Go read Gateway Pundit. I tell you how I see it. The truth is the truth, right? It doesn't. I'm not in the middle. I am in the middle. I'm not on the left. I'm not on the right. I don't support left. I don't support right. I support America. The America. Americans. The regular people. That's who I look at and say, who benefits from this thing? So who's benefiting from de-escalating the police department and the police state? All people benefit from that, because that's the enforcement wing of corporate America. Right? Unless you can push people around and order them to obey, it's hard to sell them shit. It's hard to stick a vaccine in someone's ass if you don't have the police and all of the, if you don't have the whole apparatus, the corporate apparatus, the government apparatus working on your behalf. It's very difficult to get any of that stuff done. So you would be against, the rebels taking over their own property again. So this is a bullshit article. The Antifa group set up barricades at the borders. Good. They have the right to bear arms. I don't know what the gun laws are in Seattle, but is it open carry? I don't know. I have no idea. Seattle is let's find out. Right. Seattle open carry? Is it? Open carry is lawful in Washington without any permit. Open carry of a loaded handgun in a vehicle is legal only with a concealed pistol license. Open carry of a loaded long gun in a vehicle is illegal. All right, so open carry is legal in Washington. So why are you saying that? Why are you calling them terrorists when they're exercising folks with firearms? Why are you advocating that they're terrorists when they're law-abiding Americans? Right? See how the spin? I hate this fucking publication, Gateway Pundit, but it's fun to look at. The news out of Seattle this morning is super inspiring. The East Precinct has fallen, and the Free Capitol Hill Anonymous Zone has risen in its place. Wow, it's wonderful, right? Isn't it fucking cool? So there's a couple of videos, I think. Let's look at some more. Seattle Police Department and attached court system are beyond reform. These are some of the demands. So yeah, the court systems are a shamble. The court systems are a mockery to justice. The court systems cater to the corporate oligarchs, to the people. They bought the corporate system. They own the judges. They get the decisions that they want. They line up 10, 15, 20, 50 lawyers against you, and they get what they want. They pay off everybody, right? Regular people can't do that anymore. So the court system is beyond reform. You got to shut it down. Police bashing people, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if if policing is beyond reform. I think it can be, but you have to defund it, remove it for a minute, and then build it up from the ground the ground up. What is policing? What is it supposed to do? It's supposed to defend people from tyranny, defend people from violence, defend people from being robbed. Right? And who's doing the robbing and the stealing and the cheating? It's your government doing it to the people. So we need a cosmic shift. This is in my view, this is great. All right. In the transition period between now and the dismantling of Seattle Police Department, we demand that the use of armed force be banned entirely. No guns, no batons, no riot shields, no chemical weapons, especially against those exercising their First Amendment right. Is that too much to ask? Put down your arms, police? Put down your arms? No, they want to force you the fuck out. We demand an end to school-to-prison pipeline and the abolition of youth jails. Yeah, okay. Get kids out of prisons. Get cops out of schools. We also demand that the new youth prison be built in Seattle currently be repurposed. So they're building youth jails. Why? Because it's money. The billionaire class likes that. Oh, stocks. The prison stocks are going up. Right? More people in prison. Yeah, let them beat the shit out of each other, throw them in jail. But you can't do that. You can't enforce it without a police force that brutalizes people. You can't enforce petty drug laws anymore. You see what I'm saying? All right. We demand that not the city government nor the state government, but that the federal government launch a full-scale investigation into past and current cases of police brutality. Of course, we demand reparations for victims of police brutality. Oh, okay. When you say, see how Gateway Pundit twisted that one? They say reparations. Reparations means, by definition, is giving money to slaves, former slaves, free money that 7 generations ago they were enslaved. That's what reparations are. But that's not what they're talking about. They're using the wrong word. We demand reimbursement for victims of police brutality. That's what we want. Reparations, you can call it that, in a form to be determined. So if you were victimized by police brutality, you deserve compensation. What's so hard to understand about that, Gateway Pundit? We demand that the city of Seattle make the names of officers involved. Okay, so they got a couple more demands. They got a lot of fucking demands. All right, so they're in control. You better listen to their demands, or else. What else are you gonna do? Well, let's see. Look at some video. So what's this? So Seattle protesters storm City Hall after running cops out of precinct. Establish autonomous zone. I wish I had more insight into what's going on over there, but I only have I have a view like everybody else. We can only gather from mainstream media. So there's a lot of noise. City Hall, Seattle. No cops in sight, no heads getting cracked. They took over City Hall. Good. Hey, ho, ho. City Hall has got to go. What's this one? More video, more, over an hour inside Seattle Hall. Protesters are heading out and chanting, defund Seattle Police Department. What else we got? Capitol Hill Anonymous Zone. The Anonymous Zone. So this is what it looks like. It's just young people guarding their own 6-block radius. I wonder what they say to the people that are in the 6-block radius that don't want to be in there, and maybe they live there. Are they prisoners? Are they free to come and go as they would like? That's something to think about. And here's the police. Boom. Here they are. They're flinging it. It looks like the people, I guess we're on the side of the protesters, and they're flinging the canisters back at the cops. These guys should study the films study the action of Hong Kong. The Hong Kong protesters are very sophisticated. I think these guys are pretty sophisticated too, but the Hong Kong protesters are way more sophisticated. They all communicate through text messaging, and somehow they get their message around without any use of social media, which is pretty sophisticated. But here we go. Shoot the terrorists. President Trump has declared them domestic terrorists. What else we got? There's another one.
Protesters are throwing things back. There's a table right now.
That's a lot of tear gas right there.
This is what's being displayed in the street right now.
I will choke you.
People are trying to kick it back.
Jason Walsh says, keeping the peace for the bankers and oligarchs of the world. That's precisely what they're doing. They want to keep that peace. They want to keep that shit going.
Protesters are throwing things back. There's a table right now.
It's amazing coverage, amazing footage.
People are trying to kick it back.
Wow. Just wow. Seattle fighting back. Anarchists fight back. What else we got? Activists build their own barricade to protect themselves. Some good images, really. So this is kind of what it looks like. Wow. 11th Avenue. So the movement has moved west. That was nice talking to you guys here in New York. It was fun filming you guys, and the movement is now in Seattle. I think we caught some of the leaders on the record there, and I love this shot. Seattle People Department. The People Department. What else do we got? What else do we got today on Marks and Morning? There's another one. That's all of it. So I think we already saw that. And what else? Oh, so this is fucked up. Here's where I draw the line. I have my limits as well. Right? I think that. Hold on a second. I'm losing steam here. I'm going to pick it up in a second, man. Just relax, man. Let me take a breath, for Christ's sakes. So this is where I draw the line. Christopher Columbus statue beheaded in Boston. Another toppled and torched in Richmond. Come on, leave the monuments alone. Leave the relics alone already, right? There's no Christopher Columbus. You weren't there 400 years ago, 500 years ago. You don't know he was a racist. You have no fucking idea. He was some idiot that got on a boat, right? He was paid by the Spanish royalty to go over there and find some stuff to expand the oligarch, right? Okay, he was an explorer, right? But guess what? If he didn't come over and you didn't get the European flood, we wouldn't be standing where we are right now. So be a little sympathetic and stop being, like Columbus knew exactly what he was doing. He was a deep racist. So they chopped the fucking head off of a Columbus statue. That's sad, right? That pisses me off. If you do that in New York, you're gonna get your legs broken. I hope. But look at this. They knocked the guy's head off. They knocked Columbus's head off. Headless Columbus. Headless. A headless Columbus. Shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. So what else we got? So I want to talk about this too, because this is something that hits a little home to me, living in New York City, and I'm someone who does not like racism. I do not like discrimination. I hate when people get wrongly targeted for no reason. And right in my own neighborhood, these signs are going up. Chinese are destroying Bay Ridge. Bay Ridge is the neighborhood that I live in. You see me walking by the bridge all the time. And it's a little small area, very, very white, very, Irish, whatever. Italians live here and have lived here for a very, very long time, right? You don't see any looting and you don't see any, parades coming down the street because these people will defend themselves. If you want to come over and try to smash the windows of that Italian restaurant, those Italians are going to be out on the front. They're going to be out in front with baseball bats, and they're going to fight you down. They're going to smack you down, right? And that's what goes on here, right? So that's just the reality of it, right? So that's why I never saw any looting in my neighborhood. Nothing. It didn't come through here. But this is disgusting. I see. This is the wrong way of doing it. That way of keeping people coming in, bashing your stuff out, that's a good thing. But this is not good. Chinese are destroying Bay Ridge. NYPD investigates anti-Chinese protests in Brooklyn. Posters, not protests, posters. Now, I personally have not seen any of these. I saw one poster, and I had it in my pocket, and I lost it. I don't know where this poster went. I still can't find it. I think it fell out of my pocket. But it said, we're Chinese. We're Asian. We're Asian people. Stop bashing us. We didn't invent corona fucking virus. God damn it. Stop listening to the fake news. So, xenophobic posters have been circulating the Bay Ridge and Dyker Heights residential area. All right, let's look at the poster. This is fucked up, man. This is so unnecessary. Chinese are destroying Bay Ridge. Illegal home conversions. Ruining housing stock of Bay Ridge results in a flight of middle-class homeowners. Junk stores. Massage parlors with prostitution, nail salons, 99-cent stores, dirty Chinese restaurants, trashed up streets, bottle collecting, scavenging, coronavirus spread by Chinese immigrants. It's so fucked up, right? This is racism. This is discrimination. This is what it looks like, right? All Chinese restaurants are dirty. What the hell is wrong with you, right? 99-cent stores? I love 99-cent stores. Chinese immigrants spread coronavirus? No evidence, no proof, no fucking listen to the president, listen to Trump, and that's the only place you're going to get it. The imbecile in charge. What is the resolution to the problem? We must isolate. What is the resolution to the problem? We must isolate, wear face masks and social distance forever. Close our schools. Dentists are closed. Barbershops. See, here's another line. The U.S. won World War II and the Cold War. Are we to succumb to these unhygienic people who spread this disease? What the fuck? It would be a pity if these Chinese supplant all other races. Supplant? I don't even know if that's a word. Supplant all other races. For the likes of us and the mere thought of unspeakable dreary. That's how Albert Einstein said that. So I don't agree. Of course I don't agree because it's stupid, right? They're blaming China. You see how the rhetoric, you see how the fake news, you see how the propaganda affects Chinese people? And it's not just Chinese people because most Americans don't know the difference between a Chinese or a Korean or a Thai person or Vietnam or a Japanese. They don't fucking know. They have no idea. Or Taiwan. They think because Taiwan speaks, Mandarin that they're Chinese. No, they fucking hate China. Understand the politics, right? Most immigrants, 98, 99% have never been to Wuhan, China. And it's likely that they caught the bug here if they even got sick at all. It's just blatant discrimination is what it is. Right? So, but this is how it starts. This is what it looks like. This is what discrimination looks like. This is what happens when you open your trap and blame a whole culture, a whole China, right? And you dump that information on the ignorant masses, and the ignorant masses turn around and blame anybody who looks even remotely Chinese. They don't even know if they're fucking Chinese. There's like 10 different types of Chinese. There's they all speak different languages. There's the Fujianese, the Cantonese, there's some fucking such ignorance, right? It's such ignorance to think that all of this fake corona stuff started in Wuhan, China, thereby blaming the anybody who looks remotely Chinese for the crime. That's what's going on in your. This is going on in your fair country right now. That's what's going on in New York. You can't make it up. And one final story, and then I'll let you guys go. Is this fleeing New York City amid coronavirus leaves defectors with survivor's guilt? So someone said earlier, Conte, you should leave New York. You should go to Seattle and be with your people. Well, is that really is that an accurate thing to say? Is that a smart thing to say? Is that something that I should be thinking about? Fleeing New York City. Meet the defectors who fled New York City. Some are hiding out in the weekend homes while others are emptying their wallets on Airbnbs or crashing at their parents' couches. So this is a long article, not that long, of people escaping New York. Back in the 70s or the 80s, there was something called the White Flight, where New York City was considered dangerous and ugly, and you couldn't go through Central Park, and people were getting mugged and killed, and there were hookers everywhere, and drug dealers all over Times Square, and it was a different city. Right? And you had what was called the White Flight, where all the conservative, the respectable white people left because the blacks were taking over, and the minorities were shitting all over our city. And then Giuliani came along and cracked heads and made the corporations feel comfortable about buying up everything and beautifying everything. And I think that's a good thing. But the pendulum is constantly swinging. It goes from good to bad. You know, you got to you're right. The pendulum is always going. Right now, we're swinging towards bad again, right? We're swinging towards extreme oligarchy cracking heads. So the bottom line is, will there be a new flight, a new white flight out of New York City? Well, it sure looks like that. It's certainly, my travels around New York City is it is what it is. I'm a native New Yorker. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm looking at. And I could tell you that the small and mid-sized businesses are not going to be able to rebound because of the lack of tourism, the lack of incredible money and tourism flooding into the country, into the city. Without that, most of these restaurants fold. Most of these restaurants are working so closely that they can't survive. And all the wealthy New Yorkers all left. They're all out in the Hamptons now. So will there be a flight out of New York? I think it's already happening, but I think it's going to it'll continue, and then there'll be a cultural boom, and then people that are hiding out in Seattle will come back to New York, because New York will then become, the epicenter of music and culture once again. It always does. It's just, it always will. So I'm confident in where I'm from, and will I leave? I don't know, man. Maybe someday. Maybe I might. I don't know. But for now, I'm here. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna put on the same music because I don't have any other music. Let me find something else to listen to. This is bullshit, right? I don't want to play that same tune I played before because it sucked. It sucked. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you, everybody. Me so hungry. I think of me so horny when I see your name. Me so hungry. Thank you all for joining me. Vinny DiMartini, keeping the law in order in the chat. Someone accused us of being censored. No, if you come on this channel and you are a clear, unequivocal dick, if you act like a dick, how come my shit isn't working right now? If you act like a dick, you get timed out, man. That's not hold on. Yeah, that's you being a dick. That's not censorship. There's a difference, you clown. You clowns. Hold on a second. I'm trying to cue up some music for you, man. It's painful, man. It's painful, right? I know. I got it. Let's listen. Here's some Brian Jonestown Massacre. Yeah. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. So thanks everybody for joining me. JB, me so hungry, me so horny. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Thank you, a million thank yous to Vinny DiMartini for keeping the peace. Sterling Price as well on the wrench. Thank you guys for keeping
Smarna is like very outgoing, compassionate. She has lot of friends and she always has